the energy and a lot of the admiration still patent in the room after a very long day. Professor Leon, Professor Vion, definitely Dr. Kodali, who's guiding hand through the many years of putting this together, and of course Dr. Srinivas Kumar, who's held this together for so many years with a great passion, but also Dr. Venkatram, Dr. Rat, and every single one of you in the audience. Let me specially acknowledge each one of you and say that your presence here is a testimony to your dedication to bringing the best care to patients. And therefore, in that journey, I wish you the very best and commit on behalf of our organization to do whatever we can to be with you. I must begin by telling Dr. Leon that one of the highlights of his speech was, of course, acknowledging how nice it was to bring Mrs. Leon to India. And I think that when you do that, you transform this from a great medical education program to bonds of family friendship that will continue to tie you stronger and stronger, and therefore I truly appreciate, I welcome, and I hope you've had a wonderful time. I think in the field of cardiothoracic surgery and interventional cardiology, all of us are very clear of the non-communicable disease. Cardiac is still the #1 killer. As technology grows and evolves, as all of you have become, as cardiologists, more and more invasive, and your cardiothoracic surgeons responded by becoming minimally invasive, and we just kept on evolving. And yet, it remains the #1 killer. It contributes to 28% of all deaths in India. And the fact is that there are so many methodologies, technologies, treatments, lifestyle behavior modifications, early warning symptoms that could bring down these numbers. So it is important for us to continue to strive and pursue an altogether, as beautifully said, multidisciplinary innovation lens towards keeping people healthy and happy, towards preventing heart disease, towards minimizing, reducing or completely eliminating premature deaths due to cardiac problems. We've seen it very often. It is the reason that Apollo Hospitals began, for those of you who do not know. That Dr. Reddy, who was a practicing cardiologist, used to refer his patients to Dr. Denton Cooley. One day he lost a young man before they had enough time to get their visa to go to the US and to raise $100,000 required for that treatment. That day he committed that we must find a way to bring the global talent, create the infrastructure, and cure people in India itself. That was 1983, many, many years ago, many decades ago. And today, almost 73 hospitals, over 300,000 angioplasty procedures, millions of patients. But whatever are the numbers, our clinics, our pharmacies, our procedures, the cath labs, whatever it is, I think the energy and the momentum and the commitment to stay young, to stay innovative, and to continue to pursue and say life is precious, it means something to a family. So everything that you can do to save that life and to keep that life in its fullest form is truly what all of you are dedicated to. I also do want to say that so much of our thought process on technology has been towards more and more treatments. So whether it was the quality of the lens, the beauty of the picture, the speed of when you moved to bipolar and then you went in more and more invasively. In parallel, the biochemical aspect or the medication aspect continued to grow. But one of the beautiful things about physicians, rather than just the manufacturers, etc., is the fact that the education and the learning aspect continues to be foremounted in your mind. And for that, I especially congratulate every doctor who has committed himself to share the knowledge that he has. And in this regard, and at this point, please give yourselves a very, very big hand. The Indian government has just finished their budget proclamation, and of the 7 major pillars, one of the most important pillars was education and skilling. And one of the drivers of that is the fact that number one, we need more healthcare workers. Number two, technology is expanding. Number three, there's a global shortage. And number four, that unless we're able to teach, we will continue to have a gap between the science that we know and the medicine that is practiced. So in the pursuit of reducing that gap, whether it's education, innovation, more technology, artificial intelligence, robotics, yesterday we were doing a beautiful discussion on the combination of virtual reality in a learning mode, AI, and then a training platform. So can we enhance or reduce the learning curve and enhance the pace of adoption of some of the latest technologies, because we are transforming the teaching methodologies. And in the pursuit of all that, I think it was about 10 days ago that we had a very special day in India. You acknowledged the lighting of the lamp, but we had a day called Guru Purnima, which is on this full moon day, we revere our teachers. And so the combination of bringing the greatest teachers, in today's conference you probably have 300, 400 people. Imagine if you're online, and you probably are online, so you change that number to 1,000, 2,000 teachers. But imagine if we recorded this and then put AI in it and brought AI just in time at the point of decision making, so that a larger number of people benefited with the knowledge that all of you have in this room. So I'm just bringing this not because you do not know it, because you all know this, you know more. And you are following what I think is the most powerful idiom, and that is the best way to create the to predict the future is to create it. So I wanted to acknowledge the fact that through your work you are creating the future of a healthier population, more skilled clinicians. And in that pursuit of creating this future, I once again dedicate Apollo Hospital's time, energy, resources, and anything that we need. And I congratulate Dr. Srinivas Kumar for your continued commitment to this, and all your other colleagues. I see Dr. Athir, I'm sure there are many others, all the other colleagues from Apollo and across the country and across the world. I congratulate you for your commitment. I thank you for this opportunity to share some time, because every time that we are together, we get more committed to doing more for the medical fraternity. And in sports, as the Olympics begin, people celebrate the excellence, the achievement, and it's number 1, 2, 3 who are celebrated. It is the beauty of medicine and science that everyone who cares is celebrated. And whether they're celebrated on a platform like this, let me be very clear to all of you, you are celebrated in the patient and the family members' hearts. And that is truly the biggest acknowledgement that humanity can give you. So thank you all for your greatness. Namaste. Why are younger people getting heart disease? What was the role that COVID played? What is TCT? Is this the methodology? WHO has stated, you have said, that the life expectancy has gone up in that critical category of patients who are applicable for or who have had TCT, has gone up by 25% because of this procedure. But public wants to know these things. So if you have a series of questions, please feel free, and we will ensure that a panel responds to them and that we get Dr. Martin Leon's feedback. Because it's important for general public to understand the science and utilize the skill set and the capability.
Thank you so much. I must tell you, it's a little bit emotional coming back to TCT India. Yes, it's been more than a decade, and I have to give so much credit to Sushil Kodali and to Srinivas Kumar for their efforts in putting this together. So we really should thank them, because I know how much work it takes to be able to deliver a meeting of this caliber. So I just want to thank them personally and sincerely. I also want to say that I know Srinivas has been asking me each year, please, can you come in person? There have been a variety of circumstances that made that more difficult, but for me, I had a dual purpose for wanting to come this year to TCT Plus India. As Juan said, this was an inaugural beginning of a new form of the meeting that would bring, at least we hope, even more physician training, more collaboration, and be able to bring both CRF and TCT closer together as partners as we adventure into the future of where intervention is going to be. So I wanted to participate in that activity. I have so many friends in India, and I've only appreciated over the past several days how important it is to maintain those friendships in person by expressing your appreciation for the collaboration. The second reason why I wanted to come was, I must tell you that I've been to India many times, but my wife has never been to India. And she has always wanted to go to India. So I felt very strongly that this opportunity was critical. So we had the extraordinary experience to visit Agra and the Taj. We were in Delhi, we were in Surat, and by virtue of some magic, we suddenly got here on time for this opening session in Hyderabad, which for me is a very familiar and important place. So I want to thank Linda for encouraging me to come this year. I think during this time, we may have helped to enrich the economy of India in a variety of ways, which we're also excited about. We founded TCT more than 35 years ago, and it was not ambitious. It was very humble, and I think the humility of the effort continues, even though it may appear to be more grandiose. And we founded this meeting for a variety of reasons. But I tell you that not being here personally at TCT India, for me, has been frustrating. I haven't been here in more than a half decade, and during that period of time, we've all, in our personal ways, have experienced the pandemic. During that period of time, the population of India now has surpassed China and is now the most populous country in the world. During that period of time, there were now more PCIs done in India than in the United States. And during that period of time, I think we've seen the emergence of some extraordinary leadership within the India community of interventionalists from the standpoint of expertise, commitment to academic excellence, and we're seeing this rise of a new community of leadership, that very senior leadership that we've enjoyed working with in the past. The principles of TCT have not changed from the very beginning. We believe strongly that we need to provide an educational platform. Part of that education is expressed through live cases or pre-recorded cases to learn from those experiences. We believe that more so now than before, even, that hands-on training is critical in order to gain the experiences, for operators to have confidence, to develop more advanced skills, to provide better care for their patients. We believe strongly in the academic mission, and that is largely expressed in evidence-based medicine. So we like to discuss clinical research, we like to argue about what would be the best therapy for our patients, and we do it in a reasonably narrative and informal way, but I think it educates all of us. We believe very strongly in this concept of innovation. So we do our best to portray everything that's new and different. Sometimes it may work, sometimes not, but still it makes us think, it helps us to be creative, and that innovation piece of TCT, I think, has always been important. And finally, we believe in this concept of a global, multidisciplinary collaboration that brings us all together. Only by having people that think differently, that think out of the box, that get out of their sweet spot and do things differently, do you learn, do you grow, do you become better at what you do? And that's never better expressed than when you go to different parts of the world, where things may be different for a variety of reasons, socioeconomic reasons, geographic reasons, cultural reasons. So we learn from that experience, and we really do enjoy the notion that TCT can have this global imprint, and we can be expressing it in different ways. So for me to see TCT plus the India version of it is very powerful, because I see that you really have embraced the original concept of what TCT is. So we hope that you're going to have a successful 2 days, that you'll come away feeling invigorated, excited, you'll learn something, you'll make new friendships, You'll network more effectively. You'll become better at what you do in the interest of treating your patients better and advancing the field. So I'm delighted to be here, and we'll do our best to continue to be good partners this year and in all years in the future. So thank you very much.
On and off that we've done some version of this meeting, and it's really enjoyable. I think a lot of it is the two-way exchange of ideas, information. I learn so much every time I come. I mean, the cases that are done here, the techniques, and sort of the engagement from everyone is really what makes this really enjoyable. There's obviously always challenges to running meetings, but the most important thing is to have the fundamental goal is critical. It's it's a transfer of knowledge. It's critical thought process, and sort of teaching all of us to how to think critically and make the right decision for our patients. And I think people's willingness to participate and engage is really what's key. But one of the for me, Ajay and others coming from New York and other places in the U.S. and all the international fact that we had, it's really it's an important part of what we do. Being from Andhra and being from this region, it's really important to me to come back here, and it means a lot to me that my colleagues are participating, that you're participating, and really the CRF really helping us to come and participate in this meeting has been an important component, right? There's so much knowledge of CRF, and the fundamental goal of CRF is education, and not just in the U.S. but globally. And having Juan and the entire CRF team being here and participating and being engaged has been important to help grow the mission of education. And I want to thank Juan for coming, and I want to thank him for all of his engagement and his team's engagement. I'd like him to say a few words and on behalf of CRF and all of that. So thank you.
Thank you.